morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Good morning, teacher. Very good.
Great. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So in today's class, we're going to start by playing a puzzle, okay? Have you seen the following movie? That's what I want you to find out. I'm going to send you a link, and in the link, you're going to find some tiny pieces over here that I want you to rearrange. You have 1 minute for this, and you're going to do it individually. So can anyone tell me how long do you have for this?
1 minute. 1 minute.
How many pieces do you have?
9?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so let me send you the link and off you go. Don't forget, you have just 1 minute right now. Let me set a time for you. Okay, go please. Thirty seconds left. Come on, you can do it.
Finished.
Done?
Yes, you did it.
Okay, could you share your progress in the chat box, please? A screenshot of it.
I won.
Oh, did you win?
It says you won in 39 seconds. Mine came out like this.
Okay, let me see. You finished on 44 seconds. There you go, guys. Okay, so now, based on that picture that you have, I want you to have a quick discussion over here. First of all, which one is the movie that you had in that picture?
Titanic.
Titanic, yeah, there you go. Now you have 3 questions and you're gonna have 2 minutes to discuss about it with your friend, okay? So, how long do you have for this?
3 minutes.
3? Are we sure about that?
I'm not.
Only 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, 2 minutes.
Are you gonna do it in pairs or individually?
In pairs.
In pairs. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, so we discussed that the name of the movie is Titanic. Have you seen it before, Belen? Yes, but a long time ago, when I was a child. Okay. Me too, and I've seen it quite a few times, and every time I watch this movie, it's like if it was the first time. I don't know why. I know it's very long, but I really enjoy watching this movie. What do you believe the plot is about? Well, there's this guy called Jack, and this girl, I don't know, Rose was it? Rose. Yeah, they come from different backgrounds because one of them has lots of money and the other one is quite poor. And they meet in the Titanic, they fell in love, and then they sink. Yes, and then unfortunately the boat it sunk. Yeah, but like you said, yes, they come from different backgrounds. He won his ticket out of he was playing cards with his friends and he got lucky and he was able last minute to go on the Titanic, and that's where he met the love of his life, Rose. Yes, but I really engaged, right? She was engaged to someone else. He was also from the same, he had a lot of money too, but as we can see, that's not very important. When love hits, doesn't matter if you have or don't have money. Yes. And at the end, he dies. Yes, unfortunately. She survives and she tells her story. Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys. There you go. So now, what do you think the class will be about?
About movies? Movies?
Movies, yeah, precisely. It's going to be about movies and how else you can describe them. We're gonna learn some adjectives like to describe them a little bit better. But before we start with that, story time. Okay, so please, let's pay attention to this part. Like 5 years ago, my then new friends invited me to watch a movie at Millennium Plaza. Okay, they were aware at that time that I didn't like creepy movies, but even in that, they convinced me to go there somehow. I don't even remember how. And then one of them said that the movie was going to be more intriguing than frightening. So I went with the flow, to be honest. Like, I cannot even deny it. Then I realized that actually the movie wasn't heavy going at all. Even I started crying in the first 5 minutes of it. I was pretty young, believe me. I was a coward, so I cried. I left the theater. But then my friends stayed, and they told me that the movie was actually pretty gripping. Like, besides the scary jumps that we had over there, it was more than that, and they were actually waiting for a new sequel. In my case, I didn't, and I won't, never. So yeah, that was my story about. Let's see. Can anyone remind me what was the word that I used to describe this picture?
Creepy.
Belen, you're muted, by the way. Yes, creepy. That's right. So our word is gonna be creepy, okay? What is it? It is anything that is related to something strange and natural and something that makes you feel completely frightened that you just don't wanna go and watch that. How are we gonna pronounce this? Like creepy, 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 okay? Can you both repeat it for me, please?
Creepy.
Easy peasy, there you go. Now, when it comes to the part of a speech, what do you think it is? A noun, adverb, what is it?
An adjective?
There you go. Okay, Belen, have you ever watched any creepy movies?
To be honest, I don't have time to watch movies, so and I have such a bad memory. So I don't know.
It makes sense for me. How about you, Jess?
I don't really enjoy watching creepy movies. But then again, I'm very curious after, let's say, a famous movie came out and everyone is talking about it. So eventually I won't have that curiosity to watch the movie, but I'm always covering my eyes with a pillow or with someone next to me. Yeah.
Yeah, same here, definitely. Okay, and we're gonna have our last example. It says, my house is rather creepy at night. So yeah, it also applies to different objects. Now, let's go with the next picture. How about this? Does anyone remember what I used to describe it?
I think it was intriguing.
Yes, there you go. The next word that we're going to learn is intriguing. What does it mean? It's something that is pretty interesting for you, but not just because it is interesting, but because it is unusual, something that is mysterious. Okay, how are we gonna pronounce this? Intriguing, intriguing, intriguing. Okay, can you both repeat it for me, please?
Intriguing.
Easy, there you go, guys. And how about the part of speech?
Um, an adjective too.
There you go. It's also an adjective. Any of you, have you ever watched an intriguing movie now? Any?
I would say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Was it intriguing for you?
Very interesting.
Why?
Because of everything that was happening, then you didn't know what to expect, and then something was like surprising. Everything. I would say that all of them are my favorite movies, from The Hobbit to Lord of the Rings.
Okay, makes sense for me. How about you, Jess?
I would say a last series that I watched was very intriguing. It was called The Night Agent, because like Belen said, we're anxious to see what happens next. I stayed up to super late to watch every single episode because it kept me on my feet the entire time wanting to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, same here. In my case, the last intriguing series actually was Stranger Things because just like you said, every time an episode finished, I just wanted more and I wanted to know like what was actually happening over there. So yeah, and our last example is He has a really intriguing personality. With this, you're gonna also notice that you can use it to describe people as well. Now, next picture. Can anyone remind me what was the word that I used to describe this?
Boring.
Yeah, but that's the basic one. How about our advanced word that we used? It starts with H.
I think it was heavy going.
Heavy going.
Yes, there you go, guys. Our word is gonna be heavy going. Based on the picture, what do you think it means?
Boring.
Yeah, pretty much that. Something that is boring, but not because you're not interested, but because it is difficult to understand and you just start losing the flow of it. So yeah, how are we gonna pronounce this? Heavy going, heavy going, heavy going. Okay, can you both repeat it for me, please?
Heavy going.
Heavy going.
Heavy going, okay? Make sure to make an emphasis on the V over here because otherwise we might have some trouble, okay? Heavy, heavy going, okay? Can you,
Heavy going.
okay? Better. So now, part of a speech.
Adjective.
Adjective.
Yes, as simple as that. Our example, I'm finding the advanced physics a bit heavy going. Why? Because they are difficult in my case to understand them. So now, let's go with our final word of today. How about this picture? Does anyone remember the word? What was the word?
I think you said creeping.
Yay, there you go. The word that we're going to use is gripping. Now, gripping is something that is interesting, yes, but not because it is mysterious or unusual, but because it is able to catch your attention completely, okay? Now, how are we gonna pronounce this? As gripping, gripping, gripping. Can you both repeat it for me, please?
Gripping.
Gripping, there you go. Part of a speech?
Adjective.
Yes, as simple as that, there you go. In any of your cases, have you ever, I don't know, watched any gripping movies? Something that catches your attention completely?
Probably not a movie, but when I was a teenager, I really liked watching Gossip Girl. And I always wanted to see what was coming next, and it was so interesting for me. I was
That was
paying
so
attention all the
gripping then.
time.
Yeah, makes sense for me. How about you, Jess?
I would say action movies for me. I would describe them as gripping because there's always something that's going to happen, or the person that's the killer, or the one that did something in that movie. It's always the one that's least expected. So it's gripping to, at the end, realize who this person actually was.
Okay, yeah, that's right. In my case, something that is gripping, let me see. I'd also actually here I'd say Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if you've watched the British series, but it's just completely gripping because every type of mystery that he solves, they catch your attention completely because you never know who's gonna be like the culprit or things like that. So yeah, there we go. And let's finish with our example. I found the book so gripping that I couldn't put it down. As you can notice, gripping is not only applied for movies, but also for books and things like that, okay? Now, we're gonna go to some practice time. For this practice time, please, Belén, could you help me read what you have to do?
Yes, it says solve the following gap space sentences with the vocabulary learned in class.
Okay. For this activity, I'll send you a link and you have to do it individually in 2 minutes, okay? If you finish earlier than that, even better. Let's see, you have 4 exercises in total, and let me show you how it looks like. You're gonna have it in this way, 3 options, 4 sentences, just make sure to choose the correct ones, okay? Now, how long do you have for this activity?
2 minutes.
How many sentences are you gonna have?
4.
4. And what are you going to use for this?
The adjectives you taught us.
Precisely, the adjectives that you learned, okay? Let me send it to your chat box. And off you go. 2 minutes, please. I'll keep track of the time. Let's go. Done? Great. Okay, guys. Now, before you show me your answers, I want you to compare your answers together. And for this part, you have a minute. How long do you have for this?
1 minute.
What are you going to do?
Compare answers.
Okay, go.
Okay, so the first one says the plot was blank. I really couldn't predict how it would end.
I had intriguing.
That was intriguing, yes.
Yeah.
And next one, a ghostly atmosphere and the strange goings on. The film was just too blank for me.
Too creepy.
Creepy?
Yes. Then we had rather, I really had to make an effort to finish it. Happy going?
Yes.
And such a plot, I was on the edge of my seat all the way through. Gripping.
Okay, guys, now that you still have some time left, I want you to give me some reasons why you put your answers in those gap spaces. So, oh, wait. There you go. 1 more minute, okay? I want to hear reasons why you chose those adjectives.
Okay.
I think I chose it because it said that they couldn't predict the ending. So something different was happening at all times that we didn't know how it was going to end.
Yeah, and it also, well, the other ones wouldn't fit.
Yeah. True. Okay, the next one.
In here, okay, because it says a ghostly atmosphere.
That was the clue.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was an easy one.
Rather, I really had to make an effort to finish it. I think the last part, make an effort to finish it.
Because it describes something that is extremely boring. And this one because it says that the person was on the edge of the seat, so maybe it was like super interesting. So that's why it was
Gripping. Yep.
Okay, guys, there you go. Let's go with our next activity. Give me a second. Okay, our final activity of today, I want you in a sticky note, please, to brainstorm some ideas about a movie that you've watched. You can use any of the 4 adjectives or at least 2, okay? At least 2, any of the 4, and you need to rate it out of 5 stars. How long do you have for this? 30 seconds, okay? Also, you're gonna do this individually because the pair group comes after. So let's see. Jess, how long do you have for this activity?
30 seconds.
Belen, in pairs or individually?
Individually.
Individually, what do you need to brainstorm, guys?
About a movie?
About our favorite movie.
Okay, and what do you need to use?
At least 2 adjectives.
Vocabulary?
Yes, vocabulary, at least 2 adjectives. Do you need to rate the movie that you're going to jot down about?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. So let's go. 30 seconds, please. Super fast. Okay, time is up. So let's see what you're going to do with that. Now you're going to discuss with your friends. I'll give you 3 minutes for this part. Please make sure to share every single thing that you have, and even if you feel like the need of talking about another movie, you're free to do so. So let's see, how long do you have for this?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. And what are you going to do, Belen?
We are going to talk about our notes.
Precisely. So let's go ahead. 3 minutes, please.
Good.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about my favorite movie, The Night Agent. I used the adjectives gripping and intriguing. Why? Because he was simply a night agent that worked in the White House, and he simply answered calls. But that phone never rang. So he was always doing other things, investigating, try to help with crimes that have occurred in the country. And one day, out of nowhere, the phone rang. So he was even shocked when it rang. And when he answered the phone, it was someone that was asking for help, but she also didn't know who she was calling. She was just told by her aunts and uncles to make that call and get help. So she just said, I got this number, I was told to call, but he asked for a code and she didn't know what the code was. But that one phone call changed their lives, and everything was super gripping because one thing happened, it jumped from one place to another, and I totally recommend this movie, and I would rate it out of 5 stars.
Okay, nice. Now, something important to mention is that I don't watch movies that often, and that I don't like horror or mystery or something like that, because then I start having nightmares. So I prefer like
Me too.
animated movies and those kind of things. So I'm gonna talk about my favorite movie, which is called The Emperor's New Groove. I don't know if you know about this movie, and I found it creepy, like it was super interesting because it's about an emperor who didn't like behave well and who has had an attitude and everything, and then because of something, he becomes a llama. And he goes in this adventure to going back to the castle or whatever he used to live, to be able to go back to a person. And he changes a lot, like his attitude changes a lot. So I really like it, and I will rate it 5 out of 5.
Good. I definitely have to watch that one.
You should.
What was the name of it again? I'm gonna actually write it down so I don't forget.
The Emperor's New Groove. It's from Disney.
The Emperor's New
Groove. That goes like Groove.
Cool. I will definitely watch it in my next free time.
It's interesting.
Okay, guys, there you go. Oh, wait, let me just pause this countdown. Okay. Now, after hearing some of what you were saying, I'd say that, well, we heard lots of times interesting, but please don't forget that instead of interesting, we can use either gripping or we can use the other one. Which one was the other one?
Intriguing.
Intriguing.
If it's mysterious, and gripping if it's able to hold your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys? Besides that, I just want to thank you for attending to this class. And like the picture says, I will find you and I will thank you. I don't know where you are, but please enjoy your days, okay? See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.